Morning, folks. Good morning. Another week done and dusted for 2025. Last one for February. All right, closing February off today. What is the rule on a Friday? Freaky Fridays, as I call them. Be careful, all right? Size down. Very easy on a Friday to go on tilt. Why is that? You've either had a really good week and you've got some overconfidence building in you and you start oversizing or doing something stupid, or you've had a bad week and you just go into full send it catastrophe mode. How much damage can we do in one go? We're going to put on 15 lots because who cares anymore, all right? Don't do either of those. Just be calm. It's another trading day. We're just going to take it nice and easy and work our way through the charts like we always do. All right, no need to do anything stupid on a Friday. Friday is the worst day to do something stupid because then you have to live with yourself all weekend. All right, all Saturday and Sunday, you'll be there cursing yourself. Nice and easy today. As always, we're going to start on the higher time frames. All right, here's a daily. You can see we had a bit of a black swan here. All right. Okay. Not a black swan in that we're not all the way down here. It's not some like huge panic. It is pretty big, but we closed outside the Bollinger Band on the daily. Very, very, very rare that we do that. All right. I can count in the last year, maybe 2 times that we've done that. There's one. Could argue there's one there. That is in June 2024. That's a very small close here. And then we're back to a year ago. All right, so maybe 1, 2, this might be the 3rd time in a year. So it's very, very, very unlikely. This is definitely the strongest close outside it. We are in a major sell. All right, the market is in a bit of panic. We've been frothy for quite a long time. I was talking about it last year. We created a whole lot of range up here this year. Failed breakout. Well, this is actually a breakout. This is our failed breakout. And all these buys up here on multiple time frames, right, but basically on the swing accounts, they are stuck. All right, they're currently stuck right now. So they are causing the sell because they've average price is too high, especially anyone who bought in this last run up, right? They are getting destroyed. All these stops starting to get taken out. We are running out of near targets to aim for. Here's a big pool of liquidity that we are in come November that it might want to gun for. Now, on a weekly, we are coming into a big SBR level. I just want you to pay attention to this weekly chart. This right here was the old high that we drove into, all right, and we had a flat top there. And here was the resistance, became support, traded up. We're coming back into this level. So I think at some point in here, we will start to find some buyers. Now, if we're going to trade down further, we can think about this weekly Bollinger Band. Very, very rare I think about that weekly Bollinger Band, but there are times which would line up perfectly with this liquidity down here, basically into 20,000 flat. All right, not too far away. I don't think we're going to do that today unless there's a major panic in the market. This market really, in my opinion, needs a retrace, but we cannot be betting on this long until it tells us it's ready to go. So we need to go down to the other time frames to look at this. Let's have a look at the hourly. Hourly yesterday. All right, we left these hourly highs, unfortunately. The best play I was looking for all morning with you on stream and even in the afternoon on this drive, I just wanted a little sweep of those hourly highs before we came down. Wouldn't give it. That's what happens sometimes, and I'm not the only one. I think I saw a lot of traders that I respect looking for the same kind of things. They were looking for the previous day high sweep, didn't take it before the fade. Hourly sweep, didn't take it before the fade. So making it a bit tricky for those of us who understand and like to use liquidity. So what have we got here? Well, once we broke down in this hourly bear flag and we trapped all these buyers yesterday trying to move up for that hourly sweep, right? They all became the liquidity and started to cause this fall on the stop run. So next hourly bar started to take out these lows, and then these are all daily levels that started to get taken out down here. So we have a big waterfall moment. That means that we've in here are quite thin. You can see it. The structure gets thicker in here, and then all this is thin. Right, so we're watching this high, this hourly high that we've created overnight. This is the Asia-London high and the Asia-London low. These are going to be important levels today. I'm not interested in trading within these levels. All right, I'm not going to touch this as a range. there are trades to be had here. If you're a range trader and you want to try and take this trade back up, or you want to take this trade back down, that's fine. The only way I'm thinking about trading this range right here is if we do something like a failed breakout and a trade inside, or a failed breakout and a trade inside, or a break above and a hold and a continuation. What I'm going to be very careful of is a break below and a hold and continuation, even though the main trend is down and we have this daily level to come and take out if we really want to. I want to be very, very cautious of that, because if too many shorts started entering late yesterday and overnight looking for this move, and we start to fail the breakout and get back up here, all of these guys, how many hours? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 hours, let's say by 10 o'clock, 18 hours worth of traders will be the liquidity to go higher if it does it. So I'm very, very cautious of that move. That doesn't mean I'm getting long at the open. I'm waiting to see if we can hold a bid above here. Once we get above there, or if we get above there, I'll be thinking about a retest to fill some of this imbalance and up here. It's at this point I'll be risk off, because I will expect somewhere between here and up here for them to set that lower high on the hourly chart, right? So I'm just thinking about the same thing over again. Where can they set the lower high? I don't want to be short at the lows. This is, remember, this right here is lows of the day, lows of the week, lows of the month. Not a great location to short. So I'm a little bit aware of that. I know if fear comes in the market, we can keep going lower. That's fine. Not going to chase this market lower. If it gives some really nice structure down here, fails a few times and traps more buyers, then maybe I'll consider that rotation lower. But again, we'd be taking a short outside the daily Bollinger Band, near the lows of day, lows of week, lows of month. So I want to be very, very cautious about that. Moving up into this 5 minute, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Overnight, we've gone sideways. Right, so at the bell yesterday, here's the 4 o'clock, and we had a little bit of relief, okay? And then we opened up, swept out all that liquidity, made a low in Asia, came back up, held this low, so we know buyers are here. London bid back up, haven't taken out this high yet, and we're trading in this range now. So this low here, the London low to Asia low, so far has been protected. We know there are buyers in there in the overnight session from, let's call it 560 down to sort of 500. Now that's a big level. If they hold that or fail, do a fail breakout there and return back inside. If they hold it, it might offer a rotation up here. If they do a fail breakout and reclaim it, it might offer that rotation up here. If they drop underneath and reject this level, then all these buyers are going to be stuck and we're going to sell down. The same can be said the other way around. So what am I trying to say here? I'm not touching in between these orange boxes. Right? I do not give two Fs about everything happening in here, because I know if I can be patient and wait, this will open up a very nice counter trend high time frame trade up here. This will offer a nice trade down here. This might offer a nice trade, and this will offer a nice trade. What I don't want to do is become the liquidity today. Definitely not on a Friday. We can move through to the main chart now, and you can see I've plotted everything out for you. So previous day low here, this green, we have swept it a few times. All right, traded underneath, 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 underneath. Possible building of liquidity like this right now, and if we fail to take this out, then we're just going to turn back inside. This can be a giant bear flag as well, by the way. So watching all of these things right now. Let's have a little look at the rest of the market. 5 minutes left. QQQ and SPY doing exactly the same moves, by the way. We have a slight gap up on the SPY, so a bit of relative strength there versus the QQQ. VIX is holding its gains, all right? VIX had a drive up towards previous day high on that newsprint at 8:30, failed it, came back down, has held the 5 minute flow zones, trading sideways at previous day close. We're currently trading at 21s. 21s is not a level where I want to be buying this. So VIX can afford to drift all the way back down to previous day high into 20 flat and find a bid there if it wants. So I definitely have one eye on the VIX today, especially on a Friday. Let's have a little look at the mag. All right, Apple getting absolutely slapped. That's getting destroyed right now underneath previous day low, previous day close. Microsoft had a drive up, pulling back inside to previous day close right now. Amazon doing the same. Tried to drive up, is trading at previous day close, all flat right now. Google, a little bit of a bid over previous day close, but not much there. All right, pretty much flat. Meta over previous day close, but again, pretty much flat. Nvidia getting destroyed. That thing continues to sell off underneath previous day lows. That thing is really losing a bid here. Let's have a look where it can drift to. Next liquidity on the tape. We have got a double bottom on Nvidia at 113.13. So if it gets down there, it's going to be a little bit of a liquidity break and can either do a fail breakout there or continue to trade down, right? Nvidia is very, very, very weak. Very weak. So be cautious. If that keeps failing today, it will drag the market down with it. Tesla as well. Weak underneath previous day low, previous day close, trading into its 200-day moving average right now. So around 78. So really what we're looking at today, is the market going to find a bid on a Friday? Do the shorts who've had fun all week start to cover on a Friday? Or is there just too much fear in the market and we're just going to keep drifting lower? Those are the questions that we need to pose right now. Liquidity on the book then. Biggest seller on the book right now is up at 950. He would be looking to create that lower high. All right, he's all the way up at 950. You might be thinking, why? All right, if we drift up to 950, these are big ifs. All of these are big ifs. But if we drift up here, like I said, somewhere up here, you would expect the lower high to be set. Remember, we are doing this as a pattern. So this can be a continuation or a retest of the low. This is why buyers who want the drive up, it's just to get that short rotation back down. What we don't want to do is just buy down here, and what we don't really want to do is short down here. But if they just keep drifting lower without a pump, it is possible. It isn't impossible. It is possible. It's not the best RR trade to get short on those lows, but it is possible for it to drift lower. Don't want you to think this has to go higher. It certainly does not. There is a huge amount of fear in this market right now. And the buyers on the tape, let's have a look where they are. Biggest buyers on the tape, 550 and 350 and 500. 550, 500 and 350. When I'm saying biggest buyers, those are always over 100 lot. The seller is a 260 lot. And now with 1 minute left, let's get through chat. Let's see what everyone else is saying here. Good morning, Ramos, Bruce, Miguel, Exister, Marek, Dopamine, Mindful Matters, Peter, JD Florida Man, Leron, Mr. Slim, Stevie W, TR, Christy, Thumper, Jesse, Rob Drag, BU, Vince, Michael Pope, Exploit the Vibe, Eva, Trend Trees, Cat, Minix, Jeff. Good morning, everybody. What did you all say on this poll? How can I have a look at it? Most of you thinking we're going to go sideways and take a breath. Some of you think we've sold enough and there's a bit of a relief coming. 29 or 19% of you, oh, it's growing now, 21% of you saying there's blood in the market. So lots of you thinking we might trade sideways today. Very, very possible. Let's see what we get then, team. Market opening in 5 seconds and we go there. Make sure you size down today. I cannot say it enough. You've got to size down. The ATR in this market is flipping ginormous. All right, it's huge. So don't get trapped and size down. Even the overnight range or even that 830 candle didn't look very big. It was 100 odd points, but it looks tiny because we've melted 800 points yesterday. So just size down, take it easy. No reason that you need to be running minis in this market right now. Hey, Dali, what's up, buddy? All right, so the S&P already straight down into previous day close, closing its gap, finding a bid there so far. Very, very, very early in this session. Let's see what we get. So S&P down into its gap, finding a bid. We're weaker here, relative weakness here in the Qs right now, underneath previous day low, trading back down on the QQQ towards pre-market low. All right, we're watching this Asia London low right now, remember. If we stay heavy here, there's a possible trade into some daily levels. Remember, your RR there is not fantastic. Ideally, we do a sweep trade inside, start to reclaim and offer a pump today. But right now, market is weak. Market is very, very weak. So coming down into those London and Asia levels that we expected. Let's see what we get once we get there. Market opening red, right? Tesla 2.21% down. Nvidia 2% down. Meta 0.8% down. Google 0.15% down. Amazon 0.5% down. Microsoft 0.25% down and Apple 0.5% down as we start to let go here, trading into these Asia and Globex lows. And ES has now taken out previous day lows. So all of the market sort of joined at the hip doing the same thing here. What I would say is the ES, it's got a long way to go if it's going to really gun for those Asia lows. It's way, way, way off. It has relative strength in this market. But it did just sweep previous day lows. I'm just marking these out on my other charts before I miss them. So a nice early sell here in the market, driving down. And let's see what we get. So market now swept overnight. Everything taken now. And we have to see if we get a failed breakdown here. All right, if there's a failed breakdown and a trade inside or not. Watching the liquidity on the tape starting to build all the way down to 450. All right, so far we have taken those lows. We're trading back inside, and we're going to see if there is a response here from sellers for a continuation trade lower, or if sellers get trapped, right, trying to force themselves short down here. If they get trapped and we start reclaiming, we can think about drive up to Globex high. If we keep rejecting this and creation a bear flag, we can think about a move down into this daily liquidity pull down here, this blue line. And you'll see the biggest problem right now is we're moving into a big daily liquidity pull. We're starting to sweep. So the max extension on this would be down to 20,400. That would take us back to the low of Wednesday, the 20th of November. So just seeing if the market wants to do that down into this 400 region, that would be the lows from the 20th of November. Remember, we're coming into a big potential RBS level on the weekly that we went over right at the beginning. So I'm very cautious about thinking about any short in here. This is a higher time frame area where demand might want to step in if there's been enough fear already. Still very early in the session. You're 3 minutes in. Move this to a 1 minute here. So you can see so far, rejecting that Globex, right? That last drive up, rejecting the Globex. Looking good here, team. ES also coming for it. It's got a bit further to go. 5850, I think, is the level on the ES that you're looking at. So far, blood remains in the market. We continue to trade down. Big volume here, stepping in this sell so far this morning. Saradi, good morning. All right, I'm just letting this settle. We've done the first thing I want to see. The first thing I want to see is to get outside of that overnight range. The question is now, are we going to go into a trend? Are we going to keep rejecting or need flow zones to catch up? Do we keep rejecting this for a trade down to 400? That would still offer a 100-point trade. It's my least favorite trade, I'll be honest, even though momentum's there, just because of we are basically shorting the weekly, monthly, and daily lows to try and go lower. I never like that. I way prefer a drive back inside the range to create a lower high, but we're going to have to trade whatever's on deck here. So letting this shake out on a 5 and a 15 minute for a little bit first. We're only 4 minutes into this session. Just letting it shake out. ES has now also taken Globex lows, continues to drive lower. Market very, very weak this morning. Remember, on QQQ, we have that gap. All right, guys, in the Discord, we talked about it. We're coming to the top of that gap now, or the top of the unfilled part of the gap. If we drift lower on the Qs, we can expect a gap fill down to 49240s. 49240s. We have a bidder here on the tape at 450, and then a bit of room. I just want this to build out some liquidity. We're still really early in the day. No trade for me. I'll be honest, I did hit a fat finger as soon as I sat down at my desk at 5 o'clock, which I got out of straight away. So I'm red across the board, a whole 26 bucks right now. So a turn back inside here on the ES, all right, after sweeping those overnight lows. The level I'd be watching here on the ES, very, whoa, big old drive there. So it looks like they're trying to trap those sellers down there. Going to try and just let this shake out a little bit before I think about joining. Because we can still reject previous day low here on the ES. And we can still reject flow zones here. But if we start reclaiming these levels here, we can think about this trade up. And if enough shorts are stuck down here and we raid these stops up here, there is a drift upside possible today. I'm not going to get in here too early. That is for sure. A big reaction there so far. We would need to see it start to build some liquidity here if we're going to really join this for a big drive up, which is starting to happen without me right now. So raid of the liquidity, turn inside. ES coming back up to PDC, PDL. We're not quite there yet on the NQ. That green line is our PDL, so we're watching that. We have a bit of an imbalance here from where the volume stepped in. Definitely some short stuck here. I want to see this try and hold or build liquidity up here. I don't want to chase the highs of these candles. I need some form of pullback, ideally, to get in. But we're in a big old short squeeze here off the morning. So it all starting to play out already, isn't it? It's starting to play out. The shorts got trapped towards the lows straight off the bat, which is exactly why I'm saying it's the least favorite trade I have. Now we just need to see if it's going to offer a way of us getting involved here to drive back up to the Globex high. If we get through that Globex high, we can think about that bigger leg up. Would love to see a pullback here to get involved, but it's just not offering anything right now. Straight up we go. Straight up we go. And it probably wants to go for those Globex highs. So printing into previous day close right here, PDC and VWAP. So be very, very cautious. Waiting to see if we can produce that lower high. Let's get our open on. Always forget this, team. You got to shout at me to do this. Always forget to do it. Such an important level. New York Open. And let's get an anchor on off the New York Open as well, so we understand. So this is the VWAP for the New York Open right now. All right, so ES rejecting VWAP so far, but it is through its daily levels. Do we see a bit of a reaction here on the market to come and take up higher? Joshua, you must be new here. I call trades every single day, my friend. But we take setups. But if you're looking for me to just hold your hand all the time, I'm not going to do it. I tell you what I'm looking at, when I'm looking at it, and why. But I'm not going to give you absolutely everything. You've got to learn to trade as well. So looking for this inverted head and shoulder, if we're going to start to flip here and use this liquidity, we have some imbalances here. Ideally, it doesn't come down here and fill it before it does it. Ideally, it just starts to build here, because then shorts at those lows are well and truly trapped. We're still very, very early into the day. We're not even 8 minutes in yet. Yeah. I call every day. All right. So if you stay here a bit longer, you'll see. Everyone in chat can say that. We have some big winners on stream together. I think we're almost 100% together this year. So still trading inside the range. NQ not yet taking out the VWAP, not yet taking out previous day low. So watching this to see if it builds this inverted right shoulder. What I'm a bit concerned about is that imbalance that we drove up from. It's very, very thin in this drive up. But if we're going to build this right shoulder and start to drive through, I'm looking for a long if we can start reclaiming. But it is very, very dangerous here right now. We need to see some liquidity built out. It might even need to do a micro one like this, reprice some of this first. Remember, we've got VWAP off the New York Open here. Very, very early in the session still. Market's still bleeding. Any long today is counter trend. If this wants to just get stuck here and die, it will do. So we need to wait for that confirmation and let it build out. Very, very early. Remember, higher time frame narrative is lower. We are still red on the flow zones. It's not like we've flipped everything to bullish now. If you want to be patient, you can wait for us to get up here and build and go. That will be a very, very nice, easy trade. Once we get up here, if we build liquidity to go higher, you don't need to trade this. This is high risk right now if you're thinking about this. Once we get up here, that's an easier trade. Oh, stop drawing. Just waiting for this to settle down, build its liquidity and go. Watching the ES. VIX had a big drive up and failed, coming back to previous day high and trying to base here. So if VIX continues to base here, it's going to be problematic for the market. Yeah, news in 5 minutes. You're right, 9:45. And do we have a 10 o'clock one? That number this morning was pretty much in line and flat. Yeah, PMI, Chicago PMI. And then, yes, 10 o'clock as well. We have consumer sentiment, which has moved the market recently. Has definitely moved the market recently. Remember, the higher time frame narrative is to go lower. They need to remain trapped, these sellers, intraday sellers. If they don't, it's going to be a problem for this market. So here's the pullback into that imbalance that we talked about. If they start failing this imbalance, we go lower. If they hold it and build the liquidity, we can drive all the way back up. So watching this now, looking much, much better here now that we've pulled back and held. Need to see it get through previous day low, New York Open, VWAP, previous day close for like really strong sentiment to drive higher. All right, if it keeps failing up here, it's just going to be a failed push, trap the buyers and they go back down again. Very, very early in the session. Market's starting to thin out here. So liquidity's starting to be pulled, all right? They're getting ready for this newsprint. Starting to thin out very, very early here. There's a buyer on the tape still at 500 and at 450. Seller on the tape all the way up at 950. Market a little bit thin between that right now. So SPY coming down to PDL here. Can it hold PDL? I guess that's the question right now for this market. NQ not able to get above it. Relative weakness in the Qs. Google's managed to go green impressively. So into this imbalance, into the Asia-London low here. Same kind of level. This level here that we talked about. This was the drive up. This is the level that they must hold and create liquidity and get above here and then above here for this kind of trend. Failure through here will just cause a big washout. So no confirmation yet. Your flow zones are still red. But all the time they're holding this and starting to squeeze higher is a good look. Holding that imbalance, looking good. Here's the drive. I'm in this for a little bit. Selling just very, very small here, folks. I'm very, very small. Very early coming into this newsprint. I don't want to get slapped on it. I am just in a tiny, tiny little piece, just in case we're going to start going early. So picked some up just on this dip. When I say a tiny little piece, I'm talking about micros here, not minis. All right, tiny little piece here. Waiting now to see if we get confirmation. We need to get over these levels, take out these guys, and then we can aim for all this liquidity, all these people's stops up here. This flat top up here, in my opinion, is asking to get slapped. All right, looking good here, starting to drive higher. The problem we're going to have here is the news, right? It's going to be the newsprint. I'm going to end up getting out before we get that newsprint. So that inversion starting to look good here. We're looking good. Can we build more liquidity? Get above here. If we get above here, we're off to the right. Here we go, team. Looking fantastic. Selling some into this drive. Brilliant. Right now, we're looking to take out this high. So we've had a failed breakout of the lows like we talked about. We've turned inside, built liquidity. We're going to start taking partials into these highs up here. If we firm up over that level, trust me, the shorts overnight and the shorts that went swing short and the shorts who entered the open are going to get wrecked. If we can firm up over here, then we're looking for a drive all the way back up here. That's a daily drive of like 200, 300, 400 points we can potentially do. All the way up to 21K is possible. Where am I seeing that? Look at the hourly chart. All right, we swept, trapped, dipped. If we reclaim this level and this level, we have this imbalance here, and this level here is where I'd like to see us drive up. Once we get up here, I'm going to be thinking about a short back down. Hopefully this all made sense. I'm already taking a lot of money off the table here out of this before news yet. Exactly, Peter. Lovely trade. I'm glad you got that with me every day. Feel like Peter's always either in before me or making more money than me and holding it longer. I love it. I love to see it. So news hitting the tape here in 9 seconds. I'm now also flat as well. If we just go and wreck everyone and drive higher, it will be funny, but it won't be with me. But we're decent little trade there. Could also be a nothing burger. So here we go. News starting to hit the wire. Exactly, Peter. So pulling back down into PDL here. Seeing if the market can hold some of these VWAPs, all right? Watching across the board. What's nice to see is the VIX has had a failed breakout of previous day high and is trading back to previous day close. If we can get the VIX to start breaking down, which it's nowhere near doing yet, but if the VIX starts letting go of 2060s and starts washing down to 20s flat and then maybe trade inside, then we're going to get some more relief on this market. All the time the VIX is holding up here. Got to be careful. So let's see. Let's just let this build out a bit here. Thinking about what a new hourly bar will look like in the next 15 minutes as well. But we've reclaimed a lot of key levels here. Range today is still good. This might look like tiny initial balance range. It's 185 points. You have got to be careful with your ATR right now. I say it every morning at the moment on stream. You cannot be sizing into this. You will get absolutely destroyed, all right? Micros right now, even on a 150K account, you only need micros in this market. If this market gives a 500 point move, and you're able to hold 1 micro for that, that's $1,000 in your back pocket. If you do that on 20 accounts, that's $20,000 in your back pocket using a tiny little micro. Right? You do not need minis in this market right now. That'd be my best advice to you. If you're trading huge accounts and you're up really big and you're good at risk management, by all means use a mini, right? If you know what you're doing. But if you keep getting stopped out and you're nervous about the amount of money you're making and losing, move down to micros. We talked about it last night in the Discord. Just make sure you're practicing these things. Okay, so clear trend here so far. Right, building liquidity this way. If it needs to sweep, it will come back down here. If we do that and get stuck, we can abuse this liquidity down here again. So really, if we're thinking long, we don't want it to trade into here too long. We're getting stuck at that New York Open right now and view up. So no big move. All right, the easiest move was once the failed breakout came, and this is the trade inside. We talked about that pre-market. It was one of the only trades I was looking at. The next trade I would like is a drive above and a hold and go. If we drive above and fail, this will be the same as this, effectively a failed auction, and trade inside. Right, so we're trading a range. The yellow box, right, this is our range right now. This is failure of the range, and we haven't tested the top side of range, so we have no failure, but we would like to see it test up here and run all the stops out. That's what we'd like to see. Remember, everything's flat right now. Flow zones are all flat. VWAPs are flat. We're hanging out at previous day low, previous day close. Right, you've got to be a little bit patient here, but if we can start to get going, we can move up. Yeah, Lee Kim, pun intended. Please micromanage. Quite right. Please micromanage. So driving up into the current high of day, can we trigger like a further squeeze out here? Watching across the market to see if this thing's going to get going. Hopefully we can get going here and take out those highs. That would be really nice. Starting to stack up some sellers here, all the way up to 687. So need to see if they need to trap more. What I don't want to see is this liquidity trend being built. So the easier trade will actually be when we get above these highs at like 680. 700 was that big daily level yesterday. When we took the 700, what level is that from? From Jan 13th, Monday the 13th. So far, still just building higher highs and higher lows since we put in the pivot. Right, since we put in the pivot. But this is the target, and once we get up here, I'm going to think about, can I initiate a long? Come on. If we can get up here, I'm going to think about, can I initiate a long, or does it fail? I'm trying to leave this alone for now, letting it build out. Definitely shorts got stuck this morning underneath here. This is where they got stuck. Here's your signal that they got stuck. We went straight up. We pulled back inside. We held. This was my long back into here, covered before news. Now I need to see if we do the same thing. If we start getting stuck under here, we rotate back down again. So far, we look okay. I wouldn't say great, but we look okay. Base above the Globex high would be nice. Yeah, exactly, Peter. Exactly what we're looking above. Push above this orange right here, and base above opens the gate for a squeeze on the hourly. We want to get above sort of 685. Above that and base, we can trade up to basically 800. Maybe even higher. Let's have a quick look at a 4-hour here. Yeah, so see, we can reprice this 4-hour all the way up here into the 4-hour flow zones as well. So if we can, it is a big if here, team. I'm going to be honest. But if we can get above this, the 4-hour can reprice back to here. All right, that would be an efficient reprice. But you have to remember, if you're going to take this, this is counter trend, all right? This is counter trend. At any point in here, sellers might come in, set the lower high, and go and raid the lows again. All right, so longs today will be counter trend because the higher time frame narrative is lower. If you look at the daily, the 4-hour, the hourly, we are making lower highs and lower lows. ES just doing the same thing. All right, ES, you should be looking at exactly the same thing on ES. It's just got a lot longer to go to get to its highs. The highs it's going to need to get to is 5,900. It's going to have to take out 5,900. That's your Globex high on the ES, but it already raided the Globex low. If it can take out 5,900 and base above, you're looking at exactly the same kind of play. Starting to build out some liquidity here, but if we start to go sideways, it's going to be a problem. But if we can build something here, even if it needs to do a little raid again, we're going to look to get up into this. This is where it wants to go. We've got to be careful if we just keep building sideways too long. Remember, we've got that new 4-hour and hourly candle coming in 7.5 minutes. 7.5 minutes. So ES and the SPY all doing the sideways dance as well. What you've got to be careful of is this trend line that they've built to the upside here. If they need to raid it, they will. Right, this is your channel. If they need to raid some before going back up, they will. If too many people get stuck up here and we get stuck here, this starts to open the gates. This is why I'm waiting right now to see if we can get above Globex. Very possible we can drive down for new lows if too many people get stuck. But either way, even if we're going to do that move lower, I would rather see us take out the Globex highs first. But recently, when I've been waiting for that, those of you traded with me yesterday, I wanted the previous day high taken out before we went lower. We didn't take it. Then I wanted the hourly highs taken out before we went lower. Again, we didn't take it. Market's been in such a big sell that every drive, every little pop high has been sold into. We just have not been able to take out any liquidity higher to go lower. So it's very, very hard right now. You're getting rewarded almost chasing short side the last few days. So starting to go too sideways here, in my opinion. All right, nice big strong drive up. Building this. If it starts to come down into here, I'd be very cautious. You need this flag to hold and a base to get up there. Otherwise, this is possible. Back to New York Open, looking at the market. Some of the market flat. Tesla up about 0.5%. Nvidia down 1.7%. Meta down 0.5%. Google just about green. Amazon just about red, almost flat on the day. Microsoft about 0.7% down, and Apple 1/3% down. Right, so we just have to see if the market finds a response here. We're just going to trade sideways. I'm not interested in taking anything. Exister up 3.6 thousand across 6 accounts, 4 being PA2 evaluations, which I just passed on the evals on. Listen to Alex. Hey, nice work, Exister. Lots of liquidity being built here. One side is about to lose. It will raid someone either way. Someone is going to get stuck, and it feels like buyers right now. You look at the 5-minute and the 15-minute, we are just sideways in chop. We had that failed breakout this morning, which we took back upside. Now we're just sideways again. This is exactly what I said to my team. I'm not going to trade. I'm not trading in these orange boxes. I will trade the edges of them if failed breakouts, but I will not trade in these orange boxes because this is what happens. So back down to previous day low here on the ES. PDC here on the SPY, not quite tapping previous day low. We have relative weakness in the Qs. We are underneath previous day low and previous day close right now. And that can be seen because tech is heavier. Tesla starting to sell here. Just give 0.5% back. Can they find a bid here on the market? It doesn't feel like it right now. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Sim. Ugly inside these orange boxes. Ugly. We're leaving these orange boxes alone right now. No interest in trading the orange boxes right now. And you've got a new hour and 4-hour candle coming up in 3.5 minutes. I'm just going to wait for that. Exister shutting it down and going to end the month on a super high note. Following Alex and his methods, I've only had one red day. Hey, lovely work, Exister. Have a great day. Have a fantastic weekend. So the market's starting to roll here like we talked about. If it keeps getting stuck, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Back to these Globex lows right now. Buyers could not even get the power to get up to that London high. It's the same thing we've seen the last few days. We're just going to have to wait. If we don't take out any highs and we continue to go lower, it's going to be a bit like yesterday for me, where I probably don't get the A+ trade that I'm looking for, and I'll just have to wait. I need to see a lower high be built after raiding liquidity on a higher time frame. I'm not going to chase the lows in this market. If I miss moves like yesterday, that is fine with me. I will stick to my method. Lots of buyers have just come on the tape, adding down lower now. 500, 462, 425. They're trying to become magnets for this market to move lower and pick up. You have a new 4-hour and new hourly bar coming here. That last hourly bar failed to come and take out the highs, drifting lower now. Where we close here will probably be pretty important, I would think. Just waiting for this new hourly bar. Think about this morning drive. Back into 50%. Does it protect this low? Does it do a sweep before a drive higher? Or does it just fully let go? Again, not trading inside this range. I will wait. 1 and a bit minutes left. Not long to wait until we see this 4-hour bar. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a decent reaction. It might raid one side fairly quickly before it goes the other way. It's currently hourly bar. It wants to trade back inside the previous hour. It's what it's trying to do right now. It's trying to get a close back inside the previous hour, but it's failing to do that at the moment unless it can hold and drive in front of 60s, 560s. If it can close above 560s, it closes inside after raiding lower, which could offer a bullish signature for those hourly traders if they're interested in it. Here we go. So closing back inside the last hour's range. 30 seconds left. Might be premature saying that. Can this new hour open up and drive up and take out Globex? Back to VWAP we go. 15 seconds left, and then we get that hourly transition. This is a good close on this hour. If it can keep going, it'd be a very good close. Do you train trading futures? I'm not sure what that means, Abdu. Do I teach people? Is that what you're asking? So new hourly bar here. Here's the expansion going back to overnight point of control. It will need to trade through 618, 620 to have any chance. Yes, Abdu, I do. There's a course. The link's in the description. 20-hour course, all on trading futures. And you get my indicator suite and Discord as well. All right, so back to the New York Open here. New hourly bar here, new 4-hour bar. If it's going to go and raid the highs, this is the time where it needs to do it. So watching this now, we protected that low. It's looking pretty good. I want to see expansion here on the hourly and to take out 680s. 680s, 700s. This power of the new hour and new 4-hour bar here. It needs to take out these highs here. These stops here will be the fuel to come up and take this out. So I'm watching this to see if it can just do a giant push and squeeze up. Looking very good here on the hourly. Much, much better. So needed to wait for that new hour transition. Don't want to see it get stuck here. This is where most of the volume was traded overnight. So we need to see it get through these levels with a bit of power here to get through the Globex. If it can't do that, we go back inside the chop. Yep. Just go, Abdu, there's a link. Where is it? It's just been posted. All right. Nightbot just posted it, the most recent link. Just click on that. If you click all the way through, it'll show you all the course curriculum. The 20-hour course. On demand, you can do it at your own pace, one-time fee. And then you get access to the Discord for free and the indicators as well. Right, so you can just work your way through it in your own time. Lots of people in the YouTube right now have already done it. So we're looking for now the drive up to expand the current IB through 644s and use these stops. 644s, 664 should get us up to that overnight high. That's what we're looking for right now. Again, starting to hold and build. Bang! Let's go. So can we keep trading upside here? We've raided a lot of stops here. We want to raid some more stops though. We want to keep going. We want to go all the way up to Globex high. That's where we want this market to go. That will give us nice opportunity to continue trading upside here. That's what we want to see. We don't want just a little raid of these guys here and a failure. We don't want to fail against this. We want to raid these guys and base above. But the power of that new H1 bar, very, very good. Now taking out the old H1 high at 645. So just a little careful in case they try and fade this versus the old hourly high on the transition. But I want to see them try and find a base up here. I want to see if it can find a base. What I'm just careful of, all right, when you're wondering why I keep talking about the hourly, all right, this last hour came below, closed inside. Here's the highs. We've just taken out that hourly high and we've come back inside. I don't want to see that. I want to see us get up and take all these guys out, all right? I don't want to see the hourly transition, which we're starting to see, which is a sweep of the old hourly high and a dive back down. That is not what I want to see. That is not going to allow me a good trade. So still waiting here. But the importance of these hourly bars, right? This is key. This old hour is key. This is a failed breakout of the old hour, trading back inside into the range now. Not what I wanted to see. This is going to be very, very hard for me to get a trade. Remember, I'm waiting for us to get above here to get long. Hourly failed breakout there. What does that look like on a 4-hour? So transition was right up into, oh, I should have seen this, right up into an R level. And this is an old S level here. So resistance, support, failed the resistance, back to support. If we fail this and stay heavy under, we might come and try and raid these guys. I'm still going to wait for this. This is the trade I want today. I really, really want this trade. But I cannot force my way in this market. If it doesn't want to give me that trade, there's not a lot I can do about it. That last dip being absorbed. Maybe now it's getting ready to have another go. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, Peter gone ugly again. Yeah. I would think we will go and raid those overnight highs at some point. But, you know, I have to be honest. I thought we would raid. Remember yesterday, this 10 o'clock bar, 11 o'clock, I was looking for a drive up here to get short to go down. Never did it. Failed. Then here in the afternoon, once we got here, I was like, yes, finally we're going to do it and I can get short. Never got up there. Failed. All these buyers became the supply and we rolled over. So the sign in this market is it doesn't need to pop right now. And I'm trying to remember that when I'm looking for this long. Remember, we're looking for a long here, counter trend, just to set a lower high because I want to get short up here. I really don't want to have to short down here. The RR then becomes a bit shit. But if we're going to trap 18 hours of bulls in here, the problem is we've already dipped down and traded inside. So I like it even less now to the short side because it's already shown a signature that it doesn't want to move lower. So now we have to extend that range and think about, okay, does it break down here? Well, where are we trading to if we get here? 400. That RR is, we get 60 points and there's nothing to risk off. So it's getting worse and worse as we drift lower. So basically what I'm saying is the guys in the money having the most fun right now are the swing shorts who have been short all week. I don't really believe there's new money shorts entering this market. There might be panic entering the market causing it to go lower, but I don't think there's any new money shorts in this market. We still need some patience here. Not been an easy morning. We are still looking to trade this here. But look at all the liquidity being built here. This looks small, right? This looks like nothing, but it's 100 points. Right, you will get chopped up in there. If you get stuck in there and you're giving back 100 points, 100 points, 100 points, and you are trading a mini, that is $2,000 over and over and over and over again. Right, which is why I keep saying, you got to trade micros. You got to trade micros in this environment. Give yourself some room. Right, if you went long now, you would really need to risk 540s, right? It's a big old stop. That's like 60, 70 point stop. You can't do that with a micro right now. With a mini, sorry. What am I talking about? With a mini. So it looks like it's trying to have another go. It's trying to break here. It really wants to drive up to those Globex. You can see, like, on the tape, it wants to get up there. The question is, can it get up there? Or is it going to fail these highs that it keeps coming up to and failing over and over and over again? High on this session now is 655. So if we can raid 655 and 663, then I think we can get to that Globex high. That's what I'd like to see happen. So question is, can they raid those stops and use those short stops to buy back the market for the raid to go higher? Starting to try and go. It really, really wants to go here. And every pop so far this morning has been struggling. Gold dumping again. Is it really? It's what I keep saying. I should probably be watching some other markets, but very, very honed in here. Gold dumping, Bitcoin dumping down 1,800. Gold dumping. Wow, it is dumping, isn't it? Down considerably. What a nice trend down. What an easy trade that is on gold. RTY with a nice drive, nice and clean this morning. YM with a nice drive holding previous day close. We are probably trading the ugliest market here, folks, right now. I'll reload my tabs over here. Trading view glitch is back again. Again, a little ugly in here in this chop. Look how everything's going sideways. But my draw of liquidity is definitely up here. This is where it wants to get to. It wants to get to up here. You've just got to be careful of this. But this is where it's trying to go. So if you're in this long, you are buying high before we've broken out. But you have a draw of liquidity up here. 88s, basically, I think. If we get through 88, you might get a violent stop upside. It might really just start lifting upside if it can drive through it, which is what I want to get involved in. It is, Peter. It is like watching paint dry this morning, isn't it? VIX is trading downside. So VIX coming to the edge of that bottom side of the range we were talking about in towards 2060. If VIX starts failing that, I think we will get this squeeze because it will give some relief to the ES. And that should, in turn, sort of start playing out into the Qs here. Definitely a trickier morning this morning. Definitely a trickier morning this morning. That's a weird thing to say. Definitely a trickier day. There you go. Here goes VIX. VIX starting to break down now. Can it stay heavy now? So it's sweeping that key level. Can it stay heavy now and start driving back down towards the old highs of 20s? If we do that, I think we get relief here on the market and we drive higher. Just need some confluence, need a bit of short covering to come into this market and allow that move. But yeah, VIX looking better here. 2060s, can we get a further drive down here on the VIX and just let the market have some relief? It's trying, it's trying, it's trying. Here goes the VIX. Here goes the market. Look at that timing. Fantastic. I am in this long, just small size, because I'm watching the VIX and I'm thinking, yeah, we can do this. We can do this. Come on, we can go higher. We can go and take out Globex right now. That's what I'm thinking. VIX now, 2050, really starting to let go. Fantastic. Look at the confluence in the charts as we start to drift higher. There we go, team. In towards the Globex highs. Now, I want to see them take out. There's liquidity on the book here at 687 and 700s. If we can get through this Globex high and we can cause a stop run, it will be very, very fun. All right. And at that point, I'm going to be cautious because I'm going to need a trade through and a pullback and hold. What I don't want to see is a trade through and a failure and a rotation all the way down here. That would be another trade, which I will consider if we do this. So trade 1 would be a trade through and a hold and a drive up. Trade 2 would be a failed breakout, trade inside, get stuck, and a trade all the way back down. I really want to see them remove the liquidity first, though. Please don't do this. Is what happened yesterday at this H1 level. I never got the trade because it didn't take this level out here. So I don't want to see this. I want to see it take out the highs here. It got very, very close. That London high is like 84 or something. VIX finding a little bit of a bid, and it's now coming to back test where it just broke down from, right? So we don't want VIX to reclaim that back test. I'm already out of this, folks. Just took a quick scalp for that last drive up. I don't mind rejoining. So need VIX to stay heavy here on the back test of this level. If it starts reclaiming the range, then I'm going to like this trade to the upside less and less and less. Sorry, market's moving fast this morning, so I'm having to talk fast. We're in scalp mode, even though we're in 215 point of range. So having to sort of give you updates fairly quickly here. Want to see the Qs break out here. How far we got to go on ES? Quite a long way to go. ES needs to get through. First pivot high on ES is 899. Basically, let's just call it 900. ES has got to get through 900. It's as simple as that. And then we need the VIX to fail here. So I'm flat right now, waiting. Just remember, be cautious as it builds this liquidity trend. This is the liquidity trend. If it needs to come and sweep someone in here, it will do so. Too many buyers get trapped at that high, it's going to be a problem. Here we go. So it's having another crack here. VIX having a little bit of a rejection there. Want to see it take out Globex. It needs to take out Globex. I don't feel like we're asking that much of you the last few days, market, but you just haven't want to play ball. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, get through that last high. Don't want to see a failed breakout there. We took that high by one tick. Just want to see it go straight through 700. Here we go. Come on, market. Come on, market. Come on, market. Off you go. Get through the highs. We're right there. We tapped it. I don't think we traded through. We tapped it. So stop run coming right here, right now. There we go. Through it. Here's the stop run. So this becomes key now. How we react here now becomes key. Can we drive through base above, or do we do a failed breakout? Remember, the key level yesterday on that daily was 694, I think, 694, 695. That's where Globex got stuck. It was a big old daily level. Fantastic. Here we go, team. Here we go. VIX getting absolutely clapped right now. Just what we want to see. Absolutely clapped. Coming back down towards that previous day high of 2011. Let's go. VIX letting go. We look good here, team. So I want to see a drive through and a base above now. I want to see this drive through and base above to offer upside relief. If we zoom out, right, where are we looking? Oh, don't move that. I need that. We're looking for upside relief, maybe into this pool, maybe into yesterday's IB low, somewhere up here. Once we can basically do this. We'll be selling into here. And then if we get a failure, we'll be looking for that short all the way back down. Yeah, so those are the options for the rest of the day. We're starting to give ourselves a chance for something for the rest of the day. If we fail after sweeping here, remember, if we fail after sweeping here, we do this. Right, so objective 1 complete. Take out, well, 2 objectives complete. We took out London Asia low. We now took out London Asia high. Now we need to see if we can have a trend up, or if we're going to have a failure, back inside and dunk down. So we need a little bit of patience here to let this next play set up. But if you got that long, fantastic, good play. Well played, team. Just showed this is where the shorts got trapped. Unfortunately, this took a little bit of time, but eventually we got this long. So waiting now. ES, by the way, did not take out, I don't think, its high. It got very close, but it didn't take it out. So we have a triple top up there on the ES. A little bit of divergence. Now we just wait. starting to fail a little bit, but we are still in bullish structure. All right, lower time frame is currently still bullish. Higher highs and higher lows, right, since this failed breakout. Here we go. Higher highs and higher lows. If we start breaking beneath this, that all changes. Just a little bit of patience now. Again, we haven't based above like we wanted. We wanted the base above, so just waiting. Reminder of what we did on the daily chart. Okay, what did we do in the daily chart? We came into daily demand. We're extended from the bulls. We'd like to see a drive up before we consider going lower on a daily, which is why I've been trying to think about longs a little bit today. I know it's counter trend, but it seems a bit more high probability. So if you got any of these longs with me this morning, drop me a W in chat. Let me know you're doing all right this morning. So far, failed breakout either side of this range so far. ES took it, did it? I didn't have it as taking it, Peter. I had it as a tiny bit short. Yeah, I have it as a tick or two short. 950 I have, and I'm getting a print of 899.75. Is that wrong? Am I getting a misprint there? Hopefully not. And all our data should be from CME. Lots of you with a W in chat. Martin, BU, Vince, Peter, Julian, Max, Minix, Christy, Mike, Marek, David, Thumper, Andrew G, Jeff, KSK, Ground Hero, Arturo, Alan Powers, Bay Trader, Tyson. Look at you all. Nailing the long to the upside. So low-hanging fruit trade has got done. Andrew G, you got smacked and then you got a nice long. Well, hopefully you're sort of break even or something. If you've managed your risk all right, you should be all right. You have 897 as the high on ES. Yeah, that's a little bit weird. Yeah, I'm going to triple check this. I've got this here. This wick. Oh. This morning, this wick. 900. 899.75 and then 900. What are you viewing your data? I mean, it's all CME data. That we really shouldn't be getting a misprint. Are you looking at micros? If you're looking at micros, it might be because of that. Micros rather than minis. That might be what it is. Otherwise, I don't understand why it'd be doing that. That's all I can think of, Peter, is if you're looking at micros, very, very slightly different data. I'm always viewing minis. Even if I'm trading micros, I'm always viewing minis because that's the liquidity levels, really. Most people are trading minis. That's all I can think of. ES and MES came up short. Yeah, everyone else has it short. Interesting. Phenom Z, still on the long trade, didn't hit your profit target. Well, just make sure you're managing your risk properly. I don't know what your profit target was, but we took the liquidity. That should have been profit target 1, really. And if it keeps going, you're going to look good. But for me, got to have a partial, at least a partial there. No, it's minis at the 900 is a high after 5 a.m. Globex cutoff. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, I have it separated into Asia and London. So the London high was created at, I didn't look on ES, at 420. And then the Asia high, I see what you're saying. Let me have a look, though. I see what you're saying on the ES, yeah. Well, I would consider that whole overnight high, but I do get what you're saying because London finishes technically before that. So that high was created at, I guess, in pre-market of New York, effectively, is what you're saying, which I understand. That makes sense. All right, here we go, team. So back towards the view up here. Failed breakouts so far. Still in this channel. Still has a chance to build liquidity, but we are starting to let go of this. This is starting to look more and more bearish by the second right here. But still in bullish channel. Still has the ability to flag and go, but I'm going to wait if it's going to do that. I don't like that we had this squeeze up and then have traded under it. But all we've done so far is sweep some liquidity. So maybe can keep going. Here's a little bounce on the view up for the ES. Phenom looking for 5,920 unfinished business. 5,920. Oh, on ES. Sorry. I was like, hang on. Where is that on the NQs? Still got a frog in my throat from the last few days. Hopefully that passes soon. So we had a couple scalps so far this morning, just waiting now, letting it build the liquidity, being patient, not hitting buttons. Let's wait for the next trade. If we can get through Globex and show a willingness to trade higher, that would be great. If we can't, then we can possibly think about that trade for the move back down. We have 8 minutes, remember, until the initial balance is set. We're in a 237 point range so far. That is pretty big on the day. It might not feel like we're in big range, but we are in big old range today. At least half of you watching me right now have not hit that like button. Come on. Come on, family. Do me a favor. Smash that like button. I'm here each and every day. Some of you might be new to joining the stream. Monday to Friday, we normally get on stream 10-15 minutes before the open. I go down some top-down analysis of what I'm looking at, the key levels, the potential trade setups, and then we try and execute them. So if you joined me this morning, one of the trade setups was a failure under here, trap the sellers, trade inside, which is where we started to get long, and that was our first target. The next trade we're looking for, ideally, is a push above and a hold for a trade upside, which is starting to potentially set up here. We are starting to build some bullish structure here to set up for that drive higher. What I'm a little bit aware of is these daily levels that we failed yesterday. But we are starting to look a little better here for a potential squeeze if we can really get going. It needs to drive up violently and then pull back and hold. That's what's going to give me a lot of confidence. I don't want to see like another little attempt up here and another failure and over again. It's got to show me that it's got a willingness to really get going today. That's what we want to see. Does it have a willingness to get going? If we get going, we can really go. I'm in TP SE500. Your take profit is, I'm not sure what SE is, but take profit is at 700. Is that what you're saying? We have hit that once. We want to now see a trade through 700. If we're going to get an initial balance drive, I'm in this long now, looking for a drive up, looking fantastic. If we're going to get an initial balance drive, we want to see it print after the IB is created, right? We want to see it after the IB is created and for a trend higher kind of day, which is what we were looking for. Boom, let's go. All right, so still in this, adding some more, taking some partials at the same time, building my position as we start to trade through 700s now. So taking some profit off the table, and we'll wait now. Need to try and see if we get this initial balance being built. Fantastic. So we held flow zones. We held that channel. Remember this nice upside channel. Here's your flag. Pull back 1, 2, took their stops, raided. Now can we pull back and continue going? Fantastic. This is looking really, really good, team. So everything we've looked through this morning, both sides of the trade starting to play out. And just remember, at some point, we expect shorts to come in. Now, there is a little bump in the road, which is why I'm just zooming out here to put it in. There's a tiny little bump in the road here. All right, so I'm going to just mark that. We're going to do it a bit lighter than the other stuff because it's not a higher time frame level, but there is a bump in the road there just in case we get up there violently. Looking very, very good here, team. What am I seeing? Some news hit the blotter here. 5 minutes until we get that IB set. Remember, once we set the initial balance high, we have 2 trades to think about. We have a failed auction and an auction. I'd like to see an auction today. Bulls taking revenge. Yeah, I don't even, like, if I'm honest, Saradi, I don't think it's really that many bulls. I think it's just shorts getting caught, right? I think it's shorts. If we zoom out, we talked about if you were short in here overnight, all right, that's your range. And we had breakout shorts start to enter the market. Where's my little thing gone? Breakout shorts started to enter the market here. All these guys are now trapped. These guys got trapped, allowed the fuel up to here. Now these guys are trapped. They're starting to cover. Right, so we did a lesson. Maybe some of you can remind me. One day this week, I did quite a long lesson while the market was going sideways on how we use stops and liquidity. So it might be worth going back and watching that. It was probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I forget which one. And that's what we're doing today. We're using liquidity. Right? We've built it overnight. and now we're using it. Watching the 1 hour gap fill. Yes, Mr. Slim, that is exactly what we're watching. And it has a chance to keep going, all right? Look at that. We were looking for this break through here, exactly what you're talking about, to fill some of this gap into here and potentially anywhere in here or this level here or these levels up here, we expect a lower high. Somewhere in these, we expect a lower high. It doesn't have to come today. That lower high can come on Monday, Tuesday next week, Wednesday next week. We can keep squeezing higher. This is all a question now of who's stuck and how stuck are they. 3 more minutes left until we get that IB. So I'm a little bit risk off here, just waiting. Flow zones offered nice pullback here once we flagged there. 1, 2, this is always what I like to see. Little sweep and then joining for this expansion. And now just waiting. We want to see a pullback into here. But the thing is, IB is probably going to be set somewhere up here right now. The closer we come to this, if we set an IB up here, if we just squeeze up in the next 3 minutes and set an IB up here, I'm going to be very, very careful because I know that there's some supply up there. We broke the 200 MA on the daily yesterday and we're reclaiming it. Yep, we did. We did break it. It's always a long-term buy for most swing traders and institutions across good names is the 200 SMA. But it doesn't mean it can't drift lower. But then normally you will find them starting to bid off that. It's considered good value. Why is it considered good value? It's basically your yearly average, isn't it? When you take away the weekends, all right, we talk about why do I use a 5-day and a 20-day? 20-day, that's your average price of a month because there's 20 trading days in a month. 5-day, that's your average trading price of the week because there's 5 trading days in the week. 200-day, that is your average trading price of a year because after you take away the weekends and all the bank holidays and that stuff, that's pretty much your average trading price for the year. So it's considered good value. Omalabi1, good morning. Sorry, Max. Hopefully that's fixed now. Clint, nice W. Good work there, my friend. Peter saying it was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. So, Saradi, I don't know if you were here on Wednesday, but definitely go back and watch that live video. Did a big lesson on the use of liquidity. Just under a minute left until we set this initial balance. We are just drifting higher here. Shorts are absolutely cooked right now. All right, remember their pain level was right here. We came up, we took it, they added more shorts into here. Once we got through that, we're in a squeeze right now higher. All right, make sure you are paying yourself a little bit of money and then hold on to the runners. Yeah, everything, exactly, Mike. Everything's starting to fill the gap. Remember, the daily can keep going higher if it really wants. We're coming up to the daily Bollinger Band again now. The 1 hour almost there. The transition on the 1 hour is basically 796. You can see it right here. I can put this on the chart if you want. But this low right here, 796, right? This transition, 796, 837 once we get through that. Next transition, basically 900, and then all the way up into 21,000. This trade is possible today if it really wants to go. If we can trade through, this, build liquidity, it's possible to come into here, and this offers this trade maybe next week. Doesn't have to do it all today, but it's possible. I'm just letting you know it's possible. Initial balance now set. All right, your IB now set. So initial balance rules now apply. All right, initial balance rules now apply. Hello, what does the end of the month mean to the markets? Are big players closing positions? Not necessarily, but it's more thinking about the monthly bars. All right, some traders will play off monthly bars the same way we use support and resistance on 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. You see me talking about hourly bars all the time. Big institutions, they do use monthly and weekly bars, so those do matter. We are drifting higher here, continuing to drift higher here. All right, just waiting now because we are starting to really aggressively fill that gap. What is this level? I've got to remember 798, basically 800. Basically the bottom of this red box is where we're trying to, or purple box is where we're trying to trade into. Once we get through that, we see what's what next. But so far, we look very, very good here. You should be still holding some runners here. If we get expansion above IB and we hold it today, we're going to keep going upside. So if you can hold your runners here, you look good for that trade in towards the bottom side of that wick, sort of around 795, 800. Into this purple box, right? 795, 800. Into this purple box is where we're trying to get to. Remember, we've got a little bump in the road there. We can see it here yesterday. I'll probably move that down a tiny bit. If we get through or into the box, we're going to look for 863s. But hopefully you've paid yourself a little bit of money here, folks. Remember, this is straight up, all right? So if this doesn't base here and go again, we can come all the way back down to here. This is your RBS level. It can easily come back down into here because this is squeeze up. We can fail back down quickly. Look how many green candles we printed on the way up. Straight up. It's not like we've done this, okay? We've gone pretty much straight up. So make sure you've paid yourself a little bit of money here. That Globex high and the IB high are going to be key today for the remainder of the day. So far, you look good. Look, we held the IB high. All the time it's holding the IB high, we can drift high. It doesn't mean I'm adding new positions here. Julian, yeah, don't worry. Hopefully you made some good money on it, eh? So it's a good trade. Honestly, we got the low-hanging fruit. All I look for every single day is the low-hanging fruit trade. This was all planned out pre-market. Some of you who have joined the stream now might have missed the pre-market, but pre-market, we went over the key levels we were looking for, where the breakouts and where the failed breakouts were going to take place. So I would advise you, if you're joining the stream late, when we finish today, go back, just watch the opening 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. I go over absolutely everything. Max up 6,015. Lovely work, Max. That's 2 days in a row printing big numbers. Another one of my students just absolutely crushing it. Because we look for the same repeatable patterns every day. Some of you might get bored when you're joining me on stream. You hear me say, I'm not trading the chop. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for a failed breakout. I'm going to wait for a breakout and some structure. I don't want to trade this crap. All right. So one thing I said, I even said it, I'm pretty sure I said it to Discord this morning. One place I didn't want to trade. Here we go. In the Discord this morning, right? We talked about what we were looking for. There's the failed breakout. This is exactly what we got, right? This was printed an hour before market open. This move here or this move here, and we got both. We got this move and this move. And the one thing I said, use less size. And if you can see this, I can scroll up a little bit. I'm not interested in participating in the overnight range. Right? I wanted to see the failures each side of it. So all planned out, and I even gave it to you on stream. Jack Hudkins. I went to the grocery store and I asked, dude, do you have any low-hanging fruit? I love it. I love it. Trend Tree 81, been green all last week and all this week. I hit my target this morning, so no more trades. Lovely work. Lovely work. Lovely work, team. I love to see it. It's the same folks who turn up day in, day out, who are just starting to get it, especially the ones who have done the course. They really start to dial in and get it. I absolutely love to see it. It gives me far more pleasure seeing you guys do well than me trading. All right, so just remember now, we have a possible rotation here because we created structure here. There's no structure up here. Here's your failure above IB. This can pull back into this range, like we said. This is a straight squeeze up. It lacks structure. Here's your RBS level, lower time frame, which is also your Globex level. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Trying to get a fib out here just to see what that range would be. Yeah, and a 50% will take you into that RBS level. So I'm watching. It's not an ideal long trade here. Why is it not an ideal long trade? Because we're inside the initial balance. It can happen, but I'd almost rather it builds liquidity, gets back above here, and then uses it. Right now, I'm risk off. I really think we've already had the best two trades of the day. We have to see, does it hold flow zones and RBS? Can we build a flag or an inverted head and shoulder for a go again? Remember, This is the level here. So we're running out of room for the next trade. We've already taken the low-hanging fruit. The question is, how far into that H1 can we reprice? If this wants to keep failing, remember, I'm not buying dips in this because we're underneath the initial balance. Those are the rules right now. We're underneath the IB. What I will do is an anchor off this low where the buyers came in. Where does that put us up to? Are you going to print it? Same kind of spot. All right, 628. So into this RBS level. Now, do they hold this now, right now into the Globex high? Failure to hold this, all right, failure to hold this will mean a failed auction, and then maybe this starts to play out. All the time we hold this, it has a chance to trade back upside. I'm not looking to long this. I'd almost rather wait and let it build out here and go again. I'm not looking to buy the dip here personally because we're underneath the IBH and we've taken the low-hanging fruit. It should hold if it's going to maintain bullish structure. If we're going to go into range rotation, remember ES now is also taking the low-hanging fruit. If we're going to go into range rotation and keep failing from here, we're thinking about that trade from IB high to VWAP, remember. But there's no reason to take this unless you're taking a range rotation trade and you took it early, which is fine. That's the play you're looking for. It's not the play I'm looking for today. But honestly, I think we're, what, an hour and 7 in, and we've had the best trades. Chris, I'm trying to see where the entry point for the long was. I think because of YouTube lag. There's only 6 seconds of YouTube lag, and we talked about what we were looking for. We were looking for a build of liquidity, a reclaim. Here's your flow zone, sweep of structure. I started buying in this and adding through this and selling into that. Right, there's the flag break. Here's the flat top break of internal and external liquidity. So I was in here, I was adding here, and we're going up. If we hold this, this might offer another opportunity higher. But right now, just because of the initial balance, I'm going to respect this for now. Going to respect this. Chris, I got on at 641. I think Alex got in at the same area, 641. You might have got in a little bit better price than me. Yeah, I got in above this high here. So I went for the wick high. So this candle, these candles here is where I started buying, and I was adding. I wasn't selling. I was adding into here and then selling. So beneath this is why I'm not looking to buy this right now. We're beneath the IB. We're starting to put in some bearish signatures. Kill candle, reprice, failing. If it comes back down into here, it's going to be then a buying opportunity if they can buy it back up. So far, holding this RBS level. All right, so I'm not looking to dip buy this, like I said, because we've taken the low-hanging fruits and because we're underneath the IB. It's the only reason I'm not looking to dip buy it. If we had this structure up here, I'd be potentially thinking about a dip buy. But right now, I know that this rotation is very, very possible. And if we get stuck here, this becomes possible to come all the way back down. All right. I would say this RBS level key and these guys here, all right, resistance, 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 breakout becomes support, support. This level here is key, and this is where the VWAP is. This will be a key level all day. I would say 20,625-ish, somewhere around that for me will be a key level if we trade back down to it. Jack, behave yourself, Jack. I know what happened to you yesterday. You be careful. You be careful, my friend. I really just want you to do the course and stop with these trades. I'd love you to just focus on the higher time frame trends. It would really help you. Yeah, it's painful, mate. Trying to buy the lows can be painful. Starting to try and hold Globex here. Like I said, I'm going to wait. If I'm going to join this long, I'm happy to like almost be late on the trade. ES looking very good, though. ES looking very, very good. Max, on a live account, it's been even crazier. I've had 14 trades. I'm up $38,495 in 2 days. Woof. Woof. It's big dough. That's big dough right there. That's probably average US salary a year. Good work, Max. Good work. Coffee on Max, yeah. Definitely coffee on Max. Max can fly me private jet to come and meet him and have a coffee. So just waiting here. I would like to see this trade upside. The reason I'm not buying the dip right now in this, even though it looks good, if we zoom out, we look good. If we just go to a higher time frame, I'm just going to wait. Here's your 5 minute. This is our build of structure. So we've raided the lows. We've traded up. We need to hold this. I'm going to wait for it to prove to me it can hold, because what I don't want to do is buy a dip and get flushed on, right? So I'm going to let it prove to me that it wants to hold. My biggest concern is we've done the main move. Like we've rebalanced a lot of that H1, haven't we? We've already rebalanced almost all of this. Yeah, almost all of this we repriced. Now we're right back to that level. So do they buy this? Remember, we've got an hourly transition coming in just over 15 minutes. Just over 15 minutes. I'm not in a hurry to buy this right now, even though we're drifting into a key area. I'd almost like it to retrap short, some form of signature like this if it's going to do it. Yeah, a bit like this. Sweat these guys and then it went. We can think about here, or we can be even later and think about up here. Alex, on your course, where do you teach about trading rotations and things? Mainly in the initial balance sector. So there should be a section on IB. We go over like rotational trades, trading edges. Love to join you next time going to Dubai next time, just complicated with kids. Yeah, I'm overdue a trip there to see some friends. My mate's turns 40 this year, so I do need to get out there to see him. Do need to get out there to see some buddies. Haven't been now for, it's got to be about 7 or 8 years. I'm sure it's changed quite a lot since I was last there. I think last time I was there, I was playing one of the clubs. Trying to think what it's called. Not Atlantis, that was before. What was the club called? I can picture it with a B. Just can't think what it's called. Maybe you'll know, Max. They used to do like the Cafe Mambo parties and stuff there. I just cannot think what that club is called. It will come to me. You did your old high school. What high school did you go to there? I think most of my friends went to a school called Jess out there. I've got like 3 of my best mates all grew up there. One Iraqi and one Persian, and then one who's actually from New Zealand originally. The American high school. Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely due a trip. I want to take my wife. She's never been either. Problem is, she knows that I bought her engagement ring from the Diamond District out there, from Cara. So you know that trip becomes real expensive real quick. Oh, is this where you got my engagement ring? Let's go to the diamond sector. There goes all my money. But great value out there, though. Golden Diamond District, amazing. In Jumeirah, it's changed a lot. I've not been there for years. Yeah, I'm sure it's changed loads. Loads and loads. All right, we're holding this quite nicely here. It's building out liquidity. This is what we want to see. We want to see if it's going to hold and drive higher. It's still a little bit early for me to be thinking about this, but it's starting to look a little bit better, I would say. But can it hold and drive higher right now? That would be the question I would pose. Still a little bit early. It's trying to hold. It wants to hold. It's holding the flow zones. It's just a question of can it do it? Can it do it? Looking good here. Starting to go for that reclaim. So how we re-attack the initial balance high would be important here, because remember, there is supply up there. This is the kind of thing we were talking about, isn't it? One leg, two leg into this key level, flag now. So if you're in this long here, you're already looking good, and then you want it to build some liquidity here to continue to drive higher. That's what you'd love to see. Do not want this to fail in this little 5-minute imbalance. You want it to trade through it. It needs to get a close above 29. That's what I'm waiting for right now. All right, need a close above sort of here. Want it to hold this, close above, and then go. So I'm just being patient. That's that 5-minute imbalance right here. See this attempt at the kill candle? This here is what I'm watching. This is what I'm waiting to see if we can get a close above and build above. Right now, yet to do it. So we're trading back to this same area or block that we've been at all day. So I'm just being extra patient here. I'm not too zoomed in on the 1-minute chart. I'm aware of the 1-minute chart, but it's not going to dictate all my decisions this morning. Especially, I'm going to sound like a broken record, especially when we've taken the low-hanging fruit. I really think like this trade here was the trade, and then we got some of this. This was a great trade. It might not look like much, but this is almost 300 points, right? This range here. And I know we only got it in chunks. We got like here to here, here to here, here to here. That is pretty good going. That is pretty good going. I don't think you'll see many traders getting more than that this morning. Most of them, I will guarantee you, most of them were trying to get short down here on the right chart and short against this and then getting stopped out. That's what most of them were doing because they failed to understand how we'd built liquidity. I wouldn't be surprised if I went over to Top Step or something to see. Well, maybe not. They like trading reversals over there. Maybe they're doing better today for once. I don't know. Let's have a little look. They don't even have a screen up saying how much they're up. That's always a bad sign. No, they don't have a screen up, so who knows? If I go back to earlier in the stream, house account was down, so there we go. Says everything you need to know. They're normally early to the market. Early or late. Never right on time. House account is down. There you go. Thanks, Vince. Surprise, surprise. Come and trade with us. Spend all your money on our prop firms and then learn how to blow them up. What a fucking business. Pardon my French. If it breaks, feels like going back to VWAP. Yeah, like if it keeps failing, that's why I'm not long yet, then this trade here to VWAP is definitely possible, isn't it? IB to VWAP, always a possible trade. But so far, it's still holding. Remember, this is the old level. This is your RBS level. I'm just being patient here. Not short, not long, not thinking short right now, to be honest. I'm not thinking short right now. I'm thinking long, but can it reprice through some of this, build some liquidity, and then go for a deeper drive into the hourly and dailies? That would be lovely, but it's a big if right now. If it keeps failing and building this out, remember we've got the M5 imbalance here. If it fails here and lets go of these become resistance and we trade back downside. So I'm just being patient. I don't want to give money back today. Like I said, I fat fingered the beginning of the day. I was down like 28 bucks or something, and since then we've had some bangers. 77 to 836. I have it from 717 to 728. I'm not sure where you're looking, Miguel. Just on this chart. Here's your 5 minute. This candle here. This transition. So your candle at 10:35. I'm watching that candle. This candle right here. Starting to trade through it now. It's looking better for upside. We can close above. It looks really, really good. It's tapping into that same level again. It wants to trade upside. It's just, can it trigger a squeeze? ES back to its initial balance high here. VIX trading back down to its IB low. It wants to go. It definitely wants to go. It's just, can it get going? Needs to fill this imbalance and drive. It's trying. It's desperately trying to try and do it. How long to a 5 minute close? Oh, no, 3 minutes now. Oh, no. No. He's coming to ruin the day, hasn't he? Just hit the wire. Who's going to ruin our day again? Trump meets with President Zelensky at the White House. Watch live here. No! This guy cannot get out of the way of the market. He loves it. He cannot shut up. Oh, every time we have the ability to go and do something, we have to have Mr. Donald Trump come and ruin the market for us. He cannot shut up. It's so true. He's like another Fed member. They just love the sound of his own voice. And you know what he's going to say? Nothing. Nothing that he hasn't already said. But you know the market just freaks out. Freaks out. It's just like, we can't have it. He can't say something else again about the tariffs. We're going to do some tariffs. Some tariffs we're going to do. Some tariffs we're not going to do. It doesn't help the market. Which are you doing and which are you not doing, mate? Just give us some certainties. The only thing the market hates is uncertainty. We're going to do the best tariffs it's ever seen. We're going to do a gold card, $5 million. We're going to have all the rich people. They're all going to come. The only rich people spending $5 million to move to this country are oligarchs and criminals, because anyone else rich enough will just get a green card based on their business. Hilarious. So good. We got 4 years. 4 years of jokes. I love it. All right, here goes the market. Back to IB high. Back to IB high here, team. ES looking to take out its high. NQ trying to do the same. All right, but remember, we got to respect this. If we can build liquidity out up here, we look better. Remember, there's still not a closure through this level. We're looking for a 5 minute close through that level, but we're starting to look better. But if we keep rejecting up here, you have to be a little cautious, because then we're looking at a rotational day, right? TR, well, yeah. I should get a Trump wig, or just paint myself with fake tan and get a Trump wig. The best impersonator for me is Shane Gillis. He absolutely nails it. So good. So good. Well, totally, Max. I mean, it makes me laugh. Like, I don't know. I don't want to go over it too much. But the whole thing, as someone from Europe, the whole thing of like the European Union, they don't buy our cars, they don't buy our food, we buy all their stuff. Yeah, mate, 68% of your food is not allowed in the European Union because it's so bad for you. That's why we don't buy it. And also, your cars. Why would we want to buy your cars when we make Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche, BMW, Mercedes, VW? Why do we want to buy your cars? We don't need your cars. You buy our cars because they're better cars. Like, so just reframe that. Stop it. Stop the nonsense. Stop it. Donald. I get it though. It's posturing to get what he wants. I understand it. I just find it funny. It's just funny. It's just funny. There's not like, hey, each to their own. Like, I don't care. I just want, like, make your decision and then shut up and let us trade the market. Let us price it in. The market's still looking good here, team. How long have we got left? 4 minutes until a new hourly bar, remember? 4 minutes until a new hourly bar. Bentley, yes, Bentley, Jaguar. Lots and lots and lots. Land Rover, Range Rover. Tons. Vauxhall, don't want one of those though. Fiat. Tons and tons and tons. Yeah, Fiat, there you go, BU, Fiat. Nice one, Peter. Great work again. Great work again. Japan has better cars. I don't know about that. What does it have? Toyota and Lexus, I guess, so they're main Japanese. Where's a Scooby from? Where's Subaru from? Don't know where that's from. Volvo, that's European Union as well. Swedish, I think. Anyway. Seller at 800 on the book, through that 950 on the book. That's what we're seeing right now. We're still building this liquidity. It wants to drift higher. The question is, can it do it? ES is already through the initial balance high. Market starting to try and go green here. Tesla 3.3% up. Nvidia 2.2% up. Meta 0.75% up. Google 1/3% up. Amazon 2/3% up. Apple pretty much flat. And Microsoft pretty much flat. That's where we are right now. Here's your liquidity build. Break, pullback. It wants to go. It wants to go. We have a bump in the road up here, though. So it's trying. It's desperately trying to get up there. We've got a new hourly bar coming in 2 minutes. So I'm watching this hourly bar, all right? Think about this hourly bar. This is the support. So if the new hourly bar comes down and holds this, we can go higher. If the new hourly bar wicks through this and finds failures, it will come back down and test this level on the hourly bar. So I'm watching the transition of this hourly bar. It is possible I'm done for the day. It is possible, but I'm going to wait and just see if another trade sets up. Arguably, maybe I should have taken that long. It's already offering so much points. It's insane. 50, 60 points back up here already. Here's the IB high, tapping on it right now. VIX down to 20. VIX underneath that older high that we set on Thursday now. VIX starting to fail aggressively, which is great. If it starts snapping 20, we get more relief here. But I don't want to buy before this new hourly bar comes. If we just go straight upside, it will miss me. Honda, yeah, Honda's a good car. I like Hondas. All the Japanese cars just remind me of Need for Speed growing up. What year would have that been when I was at uni? Like 03? 01? 5, 95? 2005? Oh yeah, 2003? That Need for Speed. I don't know which one it was, number 1 or something. That was cool. Probably came after Tokyo Drift. That's when everyone wanted like the Nissan and stuff. Yeah, they were awesome. Awesome films. I used to really enjoy those. What's your favorite Japanese car then, Florida man? Sounds like you're a big fan of them. Do you have a favorite? Here's the new hourly bar team. We're watching this hourly transition. How much do we pull back here? Remember, to fill this whole previous hourly bar, we're going to have to come back to 650s. All right, if we're going to drive higher, it might just be a dip inside and then a drive through 777. So what does this new hourly bar do here? We have divergence in that ES made new highs. NQ did not make new highs. So ES took this high out recently. NQ did not. Yeah, I did used to like the Scooby growing up, and the Mitsubishi as well. The Evo. I think back in my time it was like the Evo 3 or something, and then when I was a bit older, the Evo, I want to say 7. Evo 7. Going a long way back though. Showing my age there. The WRX Scooby, the blue and yellow Scooby. Everyone where I grew up wanted one of those. Most people couldn't afford it, so they had like a Renault Clio Sport instead. Very different. So are they going to drive this now? Can they get going? Apparently not. It's trying. It is trying. ES looking good. ES pulled right back to its IB and held. ES is looking good. I want to be careful if we take out this previous high and then fail here on the H1. That's what I would be very, very, very cautious about here. Seller into 800. Big seller into 800. So ES took out the old highs on the hourly bar. See how this pullback operates now. Not really leaving many imbalances now on the 5 and 15. It's becoming a bit harder to find nice location at the moment. Remember how small cars used to be like to original Mini? Yeah, I had friends that had the old Minis with like Union Jacks. The old ones, the original ones, I mean, not the... is it who owned the new ones? BMW? It was Beamer, wasn't it, I think? It feels like it's just going to put on a little squeeze here and go to take out that hourly high. I'm just worried about what happens afterwards here. Don't really want to be joining high on the day. Remember, this morning we were buying way, way lower. Our first entries in this buy were like way down at like 525. Right, so we're 250 points higher right now. BMW, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Florida man. WRX STI, great car. I remember that car. Remember Trumpy boys talking right now? I left you on the wrong screen, sorry. So trying to base above this initial balance high. Remember this pullback held. We build liquidity out here. It's got the possible to go higher. What is troubling me is that ES has already done this move. So we have divergence here where ES has already taken out that high. It's already taken out that high. Back to the IB high here on the ES. We're under it again on the NQ. My desire to trade is diminishing rapidly right now. Rapidly. That was a failed attempt to go high. We've left a double top up there. We should be taking that before we go lower. But this sounds like yesterday, doesn't it? We should be taking the H1 high before we go lower. It sounds like yesterday. We have divergence. ES has already done it. So if we just slam down here, this will be just like yesterday where it doesn't clean out the high before going lower. Should be drifting higher here. We should be looking to take out 777 really. Yeah, well, that's kind of how I feel, and it's probably how I'm going to feel for the remainder of the day here. Here we go. It's trying to squeeze up and take that H1 high. It's what it's trying to do. Still hasn't done it. You would expect it to do it. Selling here at 75s all the way up to 800. Again, it's failed. It is a peculiar, let's say. It's peculiar that it's not able to get up there. they flip this imbalance, it really should go. I'm watching this M1 right now. It really should just get going here. Trying to hold this IBH right now. Yeah, exactly. Problem is we're building this like liquidity trend here, which is ripe to get taken, and then we're just trading back in. This would be like a new topside range. That's why I'm not too keen. Like probably missed my entry here. This was probably a nice move, but I didn't really want to get long down here. I wanted to respect the initial balance, but we're failing to get above it and hold too well here. But we are printing above all our VWAPs. We are in a trend up on the lower time frame. We've got to remember this trend up. We expect it to fail and create a lower high on the hourly and daily at some point. The question is, how high does this go before it fails? Exactly, Mr. Slim. Yeah, because we're not building liquidity this way right now. Possibly here we do, but this is always a little bit dangerous. As we know, market can love to do this. So just staying out of this for the moment. Oh, sorry about that. So you go. Looks like it's trying to clean some of this liquidity up now. Is there really a big order on the books? Well, ES did take out, ES did do the move that we're looking for NQ to do. It took out the hourly high. That's what I'm saying. It's divergence up there. Never good to see that. And we know, we talked about on this, at any point above here, we can think about where it might set. Almost got to 50%. I would have loved to have seen a drive somewhere in here, 50 into the golden zone today, and then the rotation back down to here. And either at this point we buy it all the way back next week, or we fail and go lower. That'd be resumption of trend would be lower. Failure of trend would be a return back in. That's what I'm looking for next week. So we didn't quite get to a level where I'd think about shorting. We got close, but I still want to see this really, and then that. Very much like yesterday. It literally reminds me of yesterday. Right here, I was saying, we've done this. I want to see this, and then that. Sideways a little bit here. Range has tightened right up here. ATR's dropped right back down to like 20 on average. That's still decent, but earlier today, its average was around 50 per 1 minute candle with highs of about 80 per 1 minute candle. Just be careful here. All right, there's two options here. They build and they hold and they go, or they fail and they start to rotate and eventually they can let go here unless they trap and go again. Remember, higher time frame narrative is lower. All right, there are more sellers in this market right now. Just zoom out, right? There are more sellers in this market right now. Well, I can't draw through that apparently. But yeah, we're looking for a retest up here to go lower, ideally. So longs are still counter trend. I know we're up like 200, 300 points today on the longs, but they're still counter trend. All right, bear with me, folks. I'm just going to use the bathroom, get a new coffee, and I'll be right back. Sorry about that, team. I'm back. So what do we have? Hey, back down to the same level. So sweeping that liquidity, make sure my microphone's on. Sweeping these guys here, all right? These guys who entered late coming back down to this level here. Again, this is going to be your sort of key level today. Old resistance, support, support. Did they hold this again and have another attempt back up? Failure under here, then all these buyers will become trapped in the market and they open the door for a rotation. Then your next RBS level is sort of down here to view up, and we get through there and we go all the way back down, or we just go back up. What I'm seeing today now is we've got confirmation that we are not in a trend day, are we? We're not in a trend day. What are we in? We're in a rotational day. How do we know we're in that? Because we're within the initial balance, all right? IB high, IB low. So we had a short-term trend up to create the IB high. We're failing to print above the IB high, which means a rotation back to the VWAP up is very, very possible. We talk about this every day on stream, rotation from one side to the other side. Right now, this orange box at the high, this old Globex high, is a key level. All right, on the higher time frame, it's a key level. We can think about what we talked about on the hourly bars as well. Remember, I said I want to be careful. We didn't quite do it. If we print above the H1 and trade back inside, back to here, right? Because this is a rebalance. This can then still form this to go higher if it wants. Doesn't have to do it today, but it can form it. If it starts to let go and we're going to get acceptance back into this range, right, then buyers definitely become trapped up here and we can just trade sideways for a bit while it makes its decision if it wants to do this or do this. This is a range I'm not going to participate in. As I said at the beginning of the day, I don't really care about what happens in here. I will think about it if we do this and it offers RR down. But what I don't want to do is get caught in this stuff in here later on in the day. Like this, I don't want this here. Hopefully that makes sense. When I've had one or two nice trades, don't need to force myself into the market. Starting to see failures here. So those buyers who were looking for the push of the H1 high getting trapped right now. And this doesn't look like a lot, but we've dropped almost 100 points now. All right, 777s down to 679. So we've basically, this is 100 points, like just as quick as that. See 100 points. That is painful for a lot of people chasing. Oh, wrong one. There we go. There we go. So wait, now it feels like that rotation to VWAP is coming right now. So VWAP coming up. So there's the rotation, IB rotation to VWAP, ES tagging VWAP right now, SPY almost into it. Remember the higher time frame narrative is lower, so you've got to be careful. Look at the VIX, found a bounce off that under 20, reclaim 20 all the way up to 2110 previous day close. Now these are big levels. So again, I'm leaving this alone because we're inside the overnight range. I'm not really interested in trading inside this overnight range here. Market having a little bit of a shift around. Tesla 2.3% up, Nvidia 1.2% up, Meta 0.25% up, Google just gone red, all right, flat to red, Amazon 0.33% up, Microsoft 0.33% down, Apple 0.33% down. So market having a little rotation and shift around here. A small bounce here on the ES off VWAP, but I'm not really thinking about longs right now because we're getting acceptance back inside this range, right? So this was a failure outside of the range, never got above the IB high, acceptance back inside of the range into VWAP. So if we reject here, we might come lower. If this is a sweep of these levels and we reclaim that, maybe we go back for these highs up here, but it's not a setup I love. Not a setup I love, I'm going to be honest. Market's starting to chop around a little bit here. Bear with me 1 second, team. Sorry, team. Being a landlord is not fun. Never do it. Never, ever, 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 ever do it. So I've had people move out of my property in London, kick a hole in the wall, leave their furniture there. I pay a management company in London to look after it. And they've got new people moving in tomorrow. They haven't cleaned it. They haven't moved the furniture out. They can't get hold of the old tenants to get them to repair it. And they're trying to charge me. I'm like, you are flipping mental, mate. You better pay for it. Otherwise, I'm on a flight back there. Yeah, deposits kept and the rest. But the problem is, like, my argument is, like, why am I paying a management fee for a company who are incapable of managing it? They've got to pay me back now because they're taking 20% commission for not doing a job. You know, what a joke. What a joke. Honestly, once these new tenants are out, I'm just going to sell up because it's too much headache. Zelensky arriving. Okay, so what did we get here, team? Sorry. Apologies. Sometimes life takes over. So there's your pullback. There's your sweep. There's your drive in. We have a 5-minute imbalance here. It's starting to look like a sell. VWAP is the target. ES already hit VWAP. So you've got a little bit of divergence across stuff right now. And like Max just said, I think you got Zelensky starting to turn up now. Do I have to pay for the materials? Usually the case for maintenance companies. They're trying to make me pay for everything. I'm not paying for anything because they haven't done their job properly. So they're going to find out the hard way that Alex doesn't pay for people that don't do their job. Right? You take 20%. If you're not going to manage that property properly, then you are going to pay that money to get it fixed. Not me. No way, Jose, am I paying for your errors. Like it feels like it wants to do a bit of a wash here, doesn't it? Can't really make its mind up. Still at that Globex level. And VWAP from the low hit, is it really? Thank you for that. Yeah, we almost hit the other VWAP. NQ, nowhere near it. QQQ getting a bit closer. Feels like it wants to wash here. Watching that last M5 drive up. You can see it here. Created an imbalance, drove into it. It feels like it wants to come to here. At this point, though, it becomes key, and we become probably midpoint of this whole range is probably 50%. So your RR, and where I was on the phone, that was probably a nice little entry here for a bear flag. RR now has gone, has dissipated. Can't join this, unfortunately, even though it looks very, very good here. So ES2 VWAP. What a shame. What a shame. Cap said you got most of the initial balance to VWAP on the ES. Thanks again. Do the course. Yeah, exactly. We talk about it all the time, don't we? Initial balance to VWAP. VWAP to initial balance. Over and over and over again. Oh, I'm now livid. I am livid. I can't trade now. I'm absolutely livid that someone thinks it's appropriate to kick a hole in my wall, leave their furniture, leave it dirty, and that the management company are not doing anything about it. Wow. Oh. That's it. Full send. 1,000 contracts short now. That's what happens when you go on tilt. Not move this down so you can see it a bit better overnight. That's true. Honestly, I don't even see the point in being a landlord in the UK anymore. Like, just I don't even make money on it. It's pathetic. I don't even think I make 3% a year on it. 3-bedroom flat in London. Crazy. Okay, drifting into VWAP here then. Back to an old point of control. Refilling that whole H1. Remember, we talked about the H1, if it would come back and back test where it broke out from, which is right here, right now. All right, this was the level right now. This is where the old H1 broke out from. We've come back to that old H1 level. So if it can't find a bid here, we go all the way back to the lows. Remember, the pro trend is lower. It's just a question of, can this market find a bid today to like wash higher? But it certainly doesn't feel like it, does it? Market feels heavy, but Nvidia 1.2% up, Tesla 2% up, Meta just about green, Amazon 1/3% up, Google 1/3% down, Microsoft 0.75% down, and Apple about 0.20% down. Here's VWAP now then on the market. So previous day close, previous day low next, and the New York Open. Nice, Alex, made some money, good work. If I did that, I'd pass an eval. Yeah, Jake can up one. That's how I'm starting to feel, man. Honestly, it's starting to feel like selling it and just putting it in a high interest account and not having to deal with the bullshit. This feels a little bit newsy right now, so maybe we've got Trump talking right now. Let's see if we can open it up. See if it's actually there. Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir meet at the White House. Volodymyr Zelensky. They're definitely there now. Question about Replicanto. If I want to copy an ATM strategy but use TradeOvate, do I use TradeOvate as the leader account with Apex, then pass all the other Apex accounts with Rhythmic on Ninja? Trying to understand what you're saying there. So you're using NinjaTrader. I'm trying to understand what you're saying there, Jim. So have you got a mix between Rhythmic and TradeOvate accounts? If you have got a mix, that's fine. Just, I don't know what you're trading in, but I would log into NinjaTrader, use Replicanto, and trade them all as a bundle together. Douglas, when you finally land good long-term renters, it feels worth it, but finding them, living through the bad ones sucks. Better to put the money in the markets. Yeah, honestly, that's how I feel. If I'm not even getting 5%, you like the ease of the trade execution on TradeOvate. I mean, if you're executing on TradeOvate, you can just link your accounts in TradeOvate. They have an account way to do it all together. They have a copy of built-in TradeOvate. I use TradeOvate, but on Ninja, so I use Replicanto via Ninja. I don't use RTrader, Rhythmic, that is. But it's up to you. You won't be able to have them link if you're logged into TradeOvate and you're looking to link NinjaTrader, because you can't use RTrader. Sorry, you can't use RTrader in TradeOvate. If you're looking to play the market on TradeOvate, as in on their web-based browser, you can't have Replicanto won't pick up the Rhythmic, I don't think, is my understanding of it, unless someone can correct me there. So you'd need to use something else. You'd need to use another platform to trade those, whether it be NinjaTrader or Quant Tower or something else, where you can have all those accounts live at once. So here's the bounce back of VWAP. So one question you would have is if this is a 2-leg, it would need to get above here and then drift higher. We've left lots of stops up there if it wants to do it, but I'm not interested in trading this right now. We are in a downtrend. We have rejected this. Low-hanging fruit was to here, which it's taken. Like I said, this was probably a good trade here in the M5 imbalance down. we pivot this, maybe it has a shot, but I'm really not interested right now in anything, especially where I've had something external. This is a good lesson for you. Something external to the markets has affected me. So I could hear my wife getting animated on the phone with the management company. So I asked her what's up. She was like, "I'll tell you later." And I was like, "No, tell me now." This is why she said tell you later, because now I'm fuming. Now I'm fuming. How long we got left here, team? 30 minutes or so until we get to lunch. 30 minutes or so. Tradeify looks exactly the same as Top Step with the pricing and rules. Yeah, it's similar, but they offer different accounts. See, they've got the growth account. Is it the growth account, which is trailing drawdown, and then the advanced account, which is more like Top Step, and then the straight to funded account. Yeah, exactly. I love that film and the series. They're making a second series, aren't they, of The Gentleman? My mate was in that film. Well, in the series, actually, not in the film. Harry. He plays the boxer, the younger blonde kid. He's a good boy. Good lad. I didn't know he was in it, so it was a surprise to me to see him in it. It was amazing to see him. I think that was his first big acting role. Harry Goodwin's. So still possibly producing a lower high and lower lows here until we start to pivot above this. This would be your lower time frame change of structure would be above this, and then you'd be looking for this kind of move up. Until then, we're thinking about lower prices. The problem is we're at a key level right now, and what did I say all day? This is going to be a key level into the 25s because this resistance, 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 support, support. All right, so I don't really want to trade in this range, like I've talked about all day. Here we go. Trump now talking. All right, starting to see news hit the wire, so be careful. We have something that is a very fair deal. Remember, he's talking about Ukraine and Russian right now. So once we get information on what that looks like, the market might react to it. I don't know if it'd be positive or negative. Depends what he's saying. But saying things like we have a very fair deal, no one's going to pay attention to. That means absolutely nothing. It's waffle. What we need to know is what it looks like in terms of finance. Yeah, it's good. I really like Tradeify. It all depends how you like trading. Mindful matters. When's the next sale? I don't know. Nothing planned right now. It would depend when does everyone do a sale next? When's the next thing? Easter, I guess. Maybe an Easter sale. So no longs until we pivot above here. Aaron. Yeah. But Trump talking now. Anything can happen when he starts talking. Need to take out this pivot high. If we're going to think about longs, it will have to start doing this. We have imbalances up here, which it's respecting so far. That last drive in, all the way up into 27, I would say, basically. Can we get going for the day? That's the question. Struggling, isn't it? Struggling at that last pivot. You can see it. If you look at the M5, that last pivot was a drive into an old imbalance, which it's respecting so far. When we started to drive down here, this was a retracement in and a failure. This is where we should have got short. If we start getting through this imbalance, then definitely there's some stops up here it can take out. Andrew H. Big Green Day. Appreciate you. Catch you on Monday. You're welcome. A Friday sale. No Friday sale this week. Sorry, team. It's your birthday. Can you have a sale? Is it actually birthday? Sloth. If you can show me it's actually your birthday, I don't know how you're going to prove that to me. On Twitter or something. Then I'll have a look. Yeah, Tradeify sale finishes. It does finish today. It's 30%. Till midnight tonight, Eastern. You're right. 30% sale. Go and message me on Twitter, mate. I don't want to give you my email on here because I'll get bombarded. Go to @FlowZoneTrader. Message me on there. Send me a DM. So market trying to build liquidity. Into that key level. Again, remember, these are the key levels. So we held this big RBS level. We repriced that whole H1. We are finding a bid off point of control. Thank you so much, Marek, for the super chat. Means a lot. Remember the H1, what do we talk about? We can come all the way down to here, see if buyers step in. This can build a flag to go higher if it wants. It can also just keep rotating and rotating and rotating. It's possible. Yeah, happy birthday, Sloth. Like, if it's your birthday, happy birthday, my friend. Hope you're having a good one. Hopefully you got something nice planned for yourself this weekend. Market trying to squeeze now to take out those highs. It's going. Looking good here, market. You are looking pretty good. Wants to take out these highs now. Yeah, happy birthday, my friend. I'm not going to ask how old. Hopefully not as old as I am this year. So yeah, just shoot me a DM. Or you can find me on Discord as well. It's the other option for you. All right, market looking like it wants to drift higher, take out those highs, doesn't it? It's trying to force a squeeze in here. It's looking better. Really, that's interesting, Kat. For me, if I could have stayed one age, I think, what am I now? 32, 32, 33, 34 were really like just incredible years for me. Thumper, have a great weekend. 3 straight green months since I found your channel and took the course. Great stuff, and I appreciate you. That is the type of message which makes me so, so happy. Delighted. Absolutely delighted to hear that, Thumper. That is exactly what we want to hear and see. Fantastic. Fantastic. It just shows if you keep turning up, if you do the course, if you learn the strategy, it gets easier. I promise you it gets easier, especially those who we had that little voice note in Discord. You know who you are. It's going to get easier for you. Just stick with it. Stick with it. So the question now is, can it hold a bid, I guess, really above this sort of micro area here for a trade back up and to take these stops out? That's what it's trying to do. It's what it wants to do. Well, we're still underneath the initial balance so far, so it can continue to rotate. Jay Canup one saying, this is without a doubt the best system I've ever used. Oh, thank you, Jay. So can we hold above this sort of R level, this basic R level? Remember, Trump is talking. Trump is talking about Ukraine. I can read you some of the headlines if you want, if it's going to help. The deal with Ukraine is a big commitment from the United States. I spoke to Putin, had good discussions. We've started confines of a deal. I will sign a minerals deal with Ukraine later today. That will be in the East Rune. And then Zelensky says, I want to discuss what the US is ready to do. Trump said, we will put money into the fund. We are going to take rare earths and use it for all we do, including AI, military, and weapons. And Trump said, you won't go back to fighting. So he's basically saying, we're going to make sure there's peace, a peace treaty of some sort. Again, pinch of salt with all of this stuff until everyone agrees to it, because what he says and what happens doesn't necessarily align. They're going to need everyone to agree to all of these factors. So that R level held. You'll see that wick to wick, these double top wicks held so far. Right? Can it hold this for the drive up to the highs? That's what we're asking to see. If it starts failing the R level, then it's going to come down and sweep these guys and into this pool again. Gus saying that ATR is still decent. Yeah, ATR is still good, and it will get moving. You got 15 minutes left to here. The H1's looking very, very good. It can still get moving. Juan Carlos, also me. I'm loving from stocks. Oh, I'm moving from stocks this week to futures, and all your teachings are doing my trading better. Finally, ICT gives me meaning to the stock strategies. Great channel you have. Thank you very much. Tyson just came back to say hi. Started 2 PAs today. Small wins. Great week. Thanks for everything. Nice, Tyson. Tyson saying, buy the course. See you Monday. Yeah. See you Monday, buddy. Have a great weekend. What's everyone doing this weekend? Anything fun? Anything good happening this weekend? Hopefully you're going to go and see some loved ones or get off the screens, do something fun. What I'm always preaching, you got to get off the screens. You got to find balance in your life off the screens. Make sure you get off the screens and do things that make you feel good. Whole world out there outside of trading. So it looks like we're going to hold this level for a squeeze. I'm looking at this long right now, small size, very, very small size, because we're inside of the IB. If it fails, it fails. I'll stop out straight away. But we held that R level. We held this level. We've got a buy. This is the pullback. It needs to hold and squeeze up. I'll take some partials into here and then hold a runner above it if we get going. Stop's already in the money. I'm not giving this any room at all. It goes or it doesn't. I just want to see it go or it doesn't. Jake Up once said he's going to sleep. Jack Huggins, do I trade off? Do you mean the VWAP? The VWAP with an A. I didn't take the trade, but I respect it because we moved from here to here, which is probable. We're now pivoting above. We're looking for a flag for a trade through this level and an expansion upside. Failure to do that. Any failure in here, we can come all the way back down there. It's looking good though. Flag starting to play out above this R level. Very, very basic principles. It needs to hold this. Any fail under here, I'm not interested. I want to see this straight squeeze upside, especially while Trump's talking, right? Because I don't want to get slipped. He says something a bit wonky, market can slip very quickly. Zelensky saying, we see a good deal for the LNG terminals. Not seeing much else so far. Still looking good, still holding potential upside. Oh, Miguel, I don't know if you're still in chat. Let me find this for you. Miguel, if you're still in chat, I just wrote back to you on Discord so you can see it. Yeah, cap very close to lunch. Might get stopped out flat here on this pullback. Trying to let it work out and shake out in case. But yeah, some sellers stacking above here. This will be last attempt for me. Either goes or it doesn't. 9 minutes from lunch. If we start to wash this, then I can see a trap down here. Maybe later in the day we do that. And if we fail this, we just continue to rotate between these levels. So I'm not really interested in that. We've had one last attempt using house money. Stop already break even. There we go. Out now. If this traps and goes, it can go without me. I'm fine. That's me done for the day. Not going to force my way into anything. Failed that M5 imbalance. That was the key up here. There's an imbalance right here. We could not get a 5-minute closure above it. It closed inside it, but it could not get a 5-minute closure above it. So sellers took control here. That was key. I was in early, looking to see if they would do it. If we closed above this, we had a real shot at it, but maybe just too early. We will see. Either way, done for the day. Locking in another good day, another green week, another big green week. We keep going. My Apex accounts are building nicely right now. Very close. Well, I can probably take payout on some of them already on the 150Ks. But what I'm trying to do is not push for a payout. And I'm trying to build a big fat buffer. I want to build a nice buffer on the 150K accounts. Get them up to 9,000, 10,000 in the profit. Definitely over 5,000 in profit. I want them to be well into 5,000 in profit and then trade them with my Traderify accounts so I can start setting and forgetting and not having to scalp so much. That is my plan with my Apex accounts. So they're currently at like 7,000 profit, 6,000 profit, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 4,800, 4,700, 4,600, 4,600, 4,600. So they are building nicely. Blue collar, why go with a prop firm over Ninja? What, rather than funding my own Ninja account? Why do I need to fund my own live account when I can leverage so many accounts together and make money? I can size down and make more money with limited risk. You got to think Apex on average right now is probably costing me 125, 150 per account for life. So per 150 dollars on average, I've converted that into 5,000, 6,000 profit on each of those on average already. And I can scale that and just slowly leverage it rather than putting my own capital at risk. When I put my own capital at risk, I'd much rather, like I always talk about, trade ETFs in swing positions. If I'm going to risk my own capital, I would rather go long term into an ETF, unleveraged, and just be swing long, looking to scoop good value, QQQ, SPY. That's just how I operate. I can trade like this all day long. I could trade my own cash account, but I couldn't have as much leverage in it. That's the main reason. You could have 30, 40 account links. If you have 20 NinjaTrader accounts, 20 Apex accounts, you could have 5 TraderFi accounts. You could have 5 TopStep accounts. You could get 5 tick accounts. So what are you up to there? That's 30. That's 35. You could get my funded futures, 40. All right. Let's say you do 40 accounts and you just take scalps, $200 a day, 40 accounts. That's big, big, big money. Or is it 3 my funded futures? My bad. Big, big money without taking much risk at all. You can just size right down. 1 or 2 micros will do the damage for you. Keeps you in the game longer. Yeah, exactly, Yulamar. Take the profits, go in some options, like long expiries, take some nice calls when we're at a good position where I think we have a good chance to, once we've done completed like a 10% pullback on the year or something, 10, 11, 12%, look at some long-term options, some long-term calls in the SPY QQQ and just sit in it. You could do that if you weren't going to actually buy the commons. Five minutes left till lunch here, team. Yeah, exactly. You know it, Phenom. You know it. Where does the market like to do each year? 10, 11% pullback. And then we go again. But I'll just be scaling in. If I'm going to buy commons, I'll just DCA in because I'm not looking to sell them. I'll be looking to buy and sit in them for ever, basically. GB, I shorted based on the 1 hour and 4 hour fair value gap and a 5-minute inverted value gap and change in state of delivery. Yeah, it made sense. It made sense more to me on ES. Like I said, I would have been more prone to that if we did this and then came down. If we didn't leave this resting liquidity here and then came down, like I said, it's literally the same as yesterday. I would have been more prone yesterday. I wanted the short yesterday. Lots of people were looking for the short yesterday. Once we took previous day high, we didn't take it. And then we left these relative equal highs on the hourly. We didn't take it. We just faded without taking it. That was hard to sit and watch. And I think lots of people having the same issue. They're looking for that short rotation. They just want the liquidity to be taken first, just so we know, all right, there's no more upside possible. But, you know, that's a good trade. If you got it and you had good reason and thesis, which it sounds like you did, well done. Minix says, thanks, Alex. Signing off for the day, working the night shift tonight. Green week for me. Enjoy the weekend all. Blue collar, are prop firms connected to the market or do they have their own eco market? So all data in all prop firms for futures comes from CME. So it's centrally connected, right? They all have the same data. It's not like trading the FX where they all brokers print their own bullshit and try and get you caught with a spread. You can't do that in futures. It's all centrally done via CME. You got the short yesterday, but today you're not feeling it. Yeah, I mean, for me, it doesn't have to do anything, but I want to see a bigger relief before I think about getting short. Let's just think about this. We talked about this at the beginning of the stream. Why did I not want to take the short underneath the Asia low today? Look at the week. Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. There's your Monday high of week. Right, basically 22,000. We're almost 2,000 points lower. It's a big weekly move. We've come right into pools of liquidity. Like, yes, we can take that. Absolutely. I expect us to take those out at some point. We've been talking about that since we were there in November. But it makes sense. Look at the size of this move. It makes sense that we have some form of retracement, whether it's 5-day, 20-day, some form of retracement, especially when we're outside the daily Bollinger Band, some form of retracement. All right, maybe take these out before we do that move. I don't want to get short. If we go to a weekly, where shorts got stuck today, they literally tried to short the low of week. All right, they tried to short the low of week. Weekly traders were short probably up here. Swing weekly traders were short up here. They're looking to cover down here. Remember, this was a big RBS level we talked about. Resistance, 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 push, pull, support, 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 support. RBS. I don't want to short into a weekly RBS. That's complete suicide, right? I want to short when we come up here, we see some failure on a lower time frame and come back down. So that's why I didn't want to short the lows. We also think about this, we can go even higher time frame because we're in a month close now. Let's have a look at the month. They were going to short this morning. People who were short this morning down here are short in the low of month. So swing traders who took this failed breakout and then got short here versus this, they're in the money from 22,085 all the way down to here. They're not going to add new short positions down here, are they? They're not complete psychopaths. All right, so that was the reason why it was tricky today. If you took that short yesterday and you've held it overnight, you've done very, very well. Like that is a fantastic 2-day trade. It is possible we go lower today. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's possible we go lower today. But the probabilities of going lower outside the Bollinger Band to clean this up are very slim. It's more likely that we trade upside first. And that might take a whole day. It might take 2 or 3 days before we do that. It might take longer. If too many shorts get stuck down here and we trade up here and we go sideways and shorts attack it and they get a little drift through, and we come back up for a mean reversion trade next week. All these things are possible right now. So I don't blame you. You're welcome, GB. GB, give yourself like a bit of a pat on back there. I only got 165 points. Oh, only. That's decent. I know you can sit there and be like, well, it moved 800 points yesterday. It was hard to get in yesterday. It was without taking that liquidity. If we took the H1 liquidity, I reckon I would have got 500 or 600 points out of it. But we didn't. So I got bugger all. So you did well. Give yourself a pat on the back. Capped. I do everything manually with that stuff. Everything manually. I would start on the hourly and then just move down. Start on the hourly, go down to 5 minute, or go down to 15 minute, 30 minute, 15 minute, 5 minute. But you can see it, like you'll get used to seeing it. Like when you see all these wicks, right? Rejected, 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 rejected. Trade over it, pull back inside. These guys become demand, support. Rejected this guy. This was resistance, broke out, retest, support, failed under, rejected, back to support, now into a key level again. Now we're just building like this right now. It either does this or it's going to do this later in the day. Or Or I'm not going to rule this out. It just does this all day long and burns all the people who are in calls and puts. That is also very possible on a Friday. Don't want to rule that out. We are in range rotation. We're not. I know I was looking for, I can't remember where I was in. I was looking for the long for a squeeze up. It was a risky long, which is why I moved my stop break even straight away. Why is it a risky long? Because we're not above the IB high. But the probable move is here down to here. So once we got above this, I was thinking, can we get back above this now and raid these guys? Now we're into lunch. We're officially into lunch. So my day and my week is done. Closing the day very nicely again. Here comes the weakness in the market. Trump's still talking. And I'll see you all Monday next week. Back to a regular trading week again. And we just do the same thing again, right? Repeatable thing. Over and over and over again. You're going to be like, I am sick of this guy on YouTube. He just does the same boring setups all the time. He has to wait for too long. He doesn't click buttons. It's really boring. Well, that is how trading's supposed to be. You should not be screaming and shouting and upset or overjoyed, because that means you're probably oversized. It's okay to celebrate the wins, but just stick to the process. Stick to the process every single day. Same thing. Know your setups. Know your setups. Breakouts, fail breakouts. Trend days, rotational days. Separate the market into those. Life will get a lot easier for you. Until Monday, if you're going to trade the rest of the day, just trade safe. All right, be careful. Use your hard stops. All right, be smart. And I don't understand that, JD Florida man. Do I just do analysis? I've literally given you trades and told you when I was long. Anyway. I'll see you all on Monday morning for pre-market. Those in the room, I'll be there later today. We can go over some stuff if there's some setups. Oh, nice, Florida man. I was like, what? I was like, I'm sure you're here every day. Surely. That's not the same guy as earlier. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Love you all. Be safe. Get off the screens. Don't be addicted to the charts. Get off the screens. Go and live a real life. Love you all. Peace out.